Hello everyone. This is a spur-of-the-moment video that I just decided to record. I saw that Google has changed their privacy policy and I was going to read it. And I figured, well, why don't I read it out loud? And that way you guys can listen to it and understand what's in it. And actually hear all of it instead of having to read it yourself. Okay? So this will not be in any way a fun thing to read as far as entertaining, but I think it is important. So here we go. I'm going to read the Google privacy policy. Yippee. There are many different ways that you can use our service to search for and share information, to communicate with other people, or to create new content. When you share information with us, for example, by creating a Google account, you can make those services even better, to show you more relevant search results and ads, to help you connect with people, or to make sharing with others quicker and easier. As you use our services, we want you to be clear about how we are using your information and the ways in which you can protect your privacy. Our privacy policy explains what information we collect and why we collect it, how we use that information, the choices we offer, including how to access and update information. We've tried to keep it as simple as possible, but if you are not familiar with the terms like cookies, IP addresses, pixel tags, and browsers, then read about these key terms first. Your privacy matters to Google, so whether you are new to Google or a long-time user, please take the time to get to know our practices. And if you have any questions, contact us. Information we collect. We collect information to provide better services to all of our users, from figuring out basic stuff like the language you speak, to more complex things like which ads you'll find most useful, or the people who matter to you most online. We collect information in two ways. Information you give us. For example, many of our services require you to sign up for a Google account. When you do, we ask for personal information like your name, email address, telephone number, or credit card. If you want to take full advantage of the sharing features we offer, we might also ask you to create a publicly visible Google profile, which may include your name and photo. We may collect information about the services that you use and how you use them, like when you visit a website that uses our advertising services, or you view and interact with our ads and content. This information includes device information. We may collect device-specific information, such as your hardware model, operating system version, unique device identifiers, and mobile network information, including phone number. Google may associate your device identifiers or phone number with your Google account. Log information. When you use our services or view content provided by Google, we may automatically collect and store certain information in server logs. This may include details of how you used our services, such as search queries, telephone log information like your telephone number, calling party number, forwarding number, time and date of calls, duration of calls, SMS routing information and types of calls, Internet protocol addresses, device event information such as crashes, system activity, hardware settings, browser types, browser language, and date and time of your request and referral URL. Cookies that may uniquely identify your browser or your Google account. Location information. When you use a location-enabled Google service, we may collect and process information about your actual location, like GPS signals sent by a mobile device. We may also use various technologies to determine location, such as sensor data from a device that you may, for example, provide information on nearby Wi-Fi access points and cell towers. Unique application numbers. Certain services include a unique application number. These numbers and information about your installation, for example, the operating system type and application version number, may be sent to Google when you install or uninstall that service, or when that service periodically contacts our servers, such as for automatic updates. Local storage. We may also collect and store information, including personal information, locally on your device, including mechanisms such as browser web storage, including HTML5, and application data caches. Cookies and anonymous identifiers. We use various technologies to collect and store information when you visit a Google service, and this may include sending one or more cookies or anonymous identifiers to your device. We also use cookies and anonymous identifiers when you interact with services we offer to our partners, such as advertising services or Google features that may appear on other sites. How we use the information we collect. We use the information we collect for all of our services to provide, maintain, protect, and improve them, to develop new ones, and to protect Google and our users. We also use this information to offer you tailored content, like giving you more relevant search results and ads. We may use the name you provide for your Google profile across all of the services we offer that require a Google account. In addition, we may require past names associated with your Google account so that you are represented consistently across all of our services. If other users already have your email or other information that identifies you, we may show them your publicly visible Google profile information, such as your name and photo. When you contact Google, we may keep a record of your communication to help solve any issues you might be facing. We may also use your email address to inform you about our services, such as letting you know about upcoming changes or improvements. We use information collected from cookies and other technologies like pixel tags to improve your user experience and the overall quality of our services. For example, by saving your language preferences, we'll be able to have our service appear in your language you prefer. When showing your tailored ads, we will not associate a cookie or an anonymous identifier with sensitive categories, such as those based on race, religion, sexual orientation, or health. We may combine personal information from one service with information, including personal information, from other Google services, for example, to make it easier to share things with people you know. We will not combine double-click cookie information with personally identifiable information unless you have opted in your consent. We will ask you to consent before using information for a purpose other than those that are set out in this privacy policy. Google processes personal information from our servers in many countries around the world. We may process your personal information in a server located outside the country where you live. Transparency and choice. People have different privacy concerns. Our goal is to be clear about what information we collect so that you can make meaningful choices about how it's used. For example, you can review and control certain types of information tied to your Google account by using Google Dashboard. View and edit your ad preferences, such as which categories might interest you, using the Ads Preference Manager. You can also opt out of certain Google advertising services here. Use our editor to see and adjust how your Google profile appears to particular individuals. Control who you share your information with. Take information out of many of our services. You may also set your browser to block all cookies, including cookies associated with our services, or to indicate when a cookie is being set by us. However, it is important to remember that many of our services may not function properly if your cookies are disabled. For example, we may not remember your language preference. Information you share. Many of our services let you share information with others. Remember that when you share information publicly, it may be indexable by search engines, including Google. Our service provides you with different options on sharing and removing your content. Accessing and updating your personal information. Whenever you use our service, we aim to provide you with access to your personal information. If that information is wrong, we strive to give you ways to update it quickly or to delete it, unless we have to keep that information for legitimate business or legal purposes. When updating your personal information, we may ask you to verify your identity before we can act on your request. We may reject requests that are unreasonably repetitive, require disproportionate technical effort, for example, developing a new system or fundamentally changing an existing practice, risk the privacy of others, or would be extremely impractical, for instance, requesting concerning information residing on backup tapes. Where we can provide information access and correction, we will do so for free, except where it would require a disproportionate effort. We aim to maintain our service in a manner that protects information from accidentally or malicious destruction. Because of this, After you delete information from our service, we may not immediately delete residual copies from our active servers, and we may not remove information from our backup systems. Information we share. We do not share personal information with companies, organizations, or individuals outside of Google unless one of the following circumstances apply. With your consent. We will share personal information with companies, organizations, or individuals outside of Google when we have your consent to do so. We require opt-in consent for the sharing of any sensitive personal information. With domain administrators. If your Google account is managed for you by a domain administrator, for example, for Google Apps users, when your domain administrator or reseller who provides user support for your organization will have access to your Google account information, including your email and other data. Your domain administrator may also be able to view statistics regarding your account, like statistics regarding applications you install, change your account password, suspend or terminate your account access or retain information stored as part of your account, receive your account information in order to satisfy applicable laws, regulations, legal processes, or enforceable governmental requests, restrict your ability to delete or edit information or privacy settings. Please refer to your domain administrator's privacy policy for more information. For external processing, we provide personal information to our affiliates or other trusted businesses or persons to process it for us based on our instructions and in compliance with our privacy policy and any other appropriate confidentiality and security measures. For legal reasons, we will share personal information with companies, organizations, or individuals outside of Google if we have a good faith belief that access, use, preservation, or disclosure of the information is reasonably necessary to meet any applicable laws, regulations, legal processes, or enforceable governmental request. Enforce applicable terms of service, including investigation of potential violations. Detect, prevent, and otherwise address fraud, security, or technical issues. Protect against the harms to the rights, property, or safety of Google, our users, or the public as required or permitted by law. We may share aggregated, non-personally identifiable information publicly with our partners, like publishers, advertisers, or connected sites. For example, we may share information publicly to show trends about the general use of our services. If Google is involved in a merger, acquisition, or asset sale, we will continue to ensure the confidentiality of any personal information and give affected users notice before personal information is transferred or becomes subject to a different privacy policy. Information security. We work hard to protect Google and our users from unauthorized access to or unauthorized alteration, disclosure, or destruction of information we hold. In particular, we encrypt many of our services using SSL. We offer you two-step verification when you access your Google account and a safe browsing feature in Google Chrome. We review our information collection, storage, and processing practices, including physical security measures to guard against unauthorized access to systems. We restrict access to personal information to Google employees, contractors, and agents who need to know that information in order to process it for us, and who are subject to strict contractual confidentiality obligations and may be disciplined or terminated if they fail to meet these obligations. Application. Our privacy policy applies to all of the services offered by Google Inc. and its affiliates, including services offered on other sites, such as advertising services, but excludes services that have separate privacy policies that do not incorporate this privacy policy. Our privacy policy does not apply to services offered by other companies or individuals, including products or sites that may be displayed to you in search results, sites that may include Google services, or other sites linked from our services. Our privacy policy does not cover the information practices of other companies and organizations who advertise our services, who may use cookies, pixel tags, or other technologies to serve and offer relevant ads. Enforcement. We regularly review our compliance with our privacy policy, and we adhere to several self-regulatory frameworks. When we require formal written complaints, When we receive formal written complaints, we will contact that person who made the complaint to follow up. We work with the appropriate regulatory authorities, including local data protection authorities, to resolve any complaints regarding the transfer of personal data that we cannot resolve with our users directly. Change. Our privacy policy may change from time to time. We will not reduce your rights under this privacy policy without your explicit consent. We will post any privacy policy changes on this page, and if the changes are significant, we will provide a more prominent notice, including for certain services, email notification of privacy policy changes. We will also keep prior versions of this privacy policy in an archive for your review. The following notices explain specific privacy policies with respect to certain Google products and services that you may use. And there are 3 links below. Okay, well, there you have it. I'm not going to go and read those 3 links below. I think 16 minutes of privacy policy reading is plenty enough. But at least now you've heard it, and because it's always important to know what's in these things. And you didn't have to read it, so I hope that helped. I don't know how many actual views I'll get of this, but there you have it. Thanks.